What is up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to a bonus stream. Yes, it's Friday night. I don't usually stream on Friday night, but I'm not going to be streaming this Sunday, so I hate to leave you without my my wonderful content, and I hate to leave myself without your wonderful company. Some of you, not so much. We won't go into it. That's a solid opening. What don't you think, Bunty?
Yeah, that's a way to start.
Yeah, a way. Too much honesty, I think. Too much honesty. But I am glad to be here. Very glad to see. Well, of course, you, Blunty. Good to see you. Garter Rotor. Kim Fuse. Very nice. Very nice. Cat and Bry. Oh yeah. Ooh, whole Blackheath. Killdozer. I'm just reading the names of blue people now. Very glad to be with you. We are going to answer some questions. We're going to answer your questions for about 2 hours, and then I'm going to go pack because I'm leaving to go. It's just the thing, Mike. Michael Bay just keeps hiring me. He's told me all his friends about me, and I'm getting super popular in the cinematic world. I can't talk about any of it because it's all super hush-hush. But yeah, when the movie comes out, I'll let you know that those drone shots were me. Maybe we'll make a special out of it. We'll just go through movies and see if people can guess which drone shots I did. My cough is better. It's getting better. The whiskey has nothing to do with that. I'm sure. You might ask why I'm drinking whiskey tonight. It's because the world is on fire. And, I feel like alcoholism is the only way to solve it. Well, solve. That's not the right word. Yeah. Blunty, I was reading a Reddit thread about the... hang on, let me just switch to... There we go. I was reading a Reddit thread about the Drones for First Responders Act, which, for those of you who don't know, Blunty, you brought this on the news. Do you want to sum that up? I know you're too busy queuing questions. If you're too busy, just say, I'll do it. But since you brought it to me, I thought I'd give you a chance.
Yeah, basically it adds a tariff to all Chinese-bought drone parts that have any function in the drone. And it adds an increasing tariff every year until it makes them illegal to be purchased.
Yeah. I was looking at that. I looked at the actual bill, and it lists tariff codes. So there's this big table of unified tariff codes, which is basically anything that could be imported into the U.S. has a code, and then there's tariffs are applied per code. And I was trying to figure out, because the bill says, here are the tariff codes that this applies to. And I was trying to figure out, Blunty, whether it applied only to finished drones or also parts. There was some confusion about, first of all, there were people on Reddit. Who knew? Reddit gets it wrong sometimes. Go figure. There were people on Reddit confidently saying that it would only apply to DJI and Skydio, only apply to camera drones. And I'm pretty sure that's not true. But I couldn't figure out if it applied to parts. I don't know if you've dug deeper into it than that, Blunty.
As far as I can tell, it applies to every single part listed, because they list a set of parts. There's like flight controller, ESC, motor. I mean, there's like a set of parts that they list out in the document.
So presumably the tariff codes for those parts are also included. It was like a lot of codes, and I just didn't go through it. Damn. Well, there you go.
Just so everybody knows, the reason we're thinking it's a possible thing, right, is basically because this has bipartisan support and is being run by the third person in the House, Elise Stefanik, maybe the second. So it looks like it has a lot of backing, and the other reason is they're pushing this as a first responders pro thing, because they're taking the tax revenue, the tariff revenue, and putting it to first responders, farmers, and grants. So right. I think that's the issue here, is it actually does have some chance of going through. This isn't like a 2% dead in the water bill. This is a possibly going to happen because of Red Scare and other benefits that are going to go with the bill. So
yeah. I'm sure that if we looked deep into it, we wouldn't find any donations from Skydio or to lobbyists and so forth. I'm sure that there's none of that. I'm sure this is purely passed out of principle and nothing else. Anyway, so tonight well, I'm not drinking because I finished my drink, but in metaphorically speaking, I'm drinking. Don't worry though, Blunty. I've only had, it was like 1 ounce of bourbon. You're not going to have to be biting your lip all night as I do of horrible, offensive things.
No more than usual.
No more than usual? What'd you say?
Yes.
I think it's good I think the tension is good. You know, good cop, bad cop kind of a situation.
Can I answer the first question? I got a great.
Yeah, fucking A. Which one is it?
Okay, Cheryl Barden says, hey, is anyone else having this problem? My O3 says country code not updated. And then in chat says, maybe I have Starlink Wi-Fi and I'm connected to California server, but I'm in Michigan. The issue is Starlink. All the Starlink IPs are flagged as being not in a country. I know somebody else who had this exact issue. You need to use a VPN and go to a landlocked, like an actual server that's in the United States.
Because DJI assigns the country code to the drone or the air unit based on the IP address that you register from. But since a Starlink could be anywhere in the world, then DJI is like, hey, we're not going to, because they want to make sure that they assign the correct regulatory region. They're trying to follow the rules, in other words. But they know that Starlinks are mobile, and so that when you register from a Starlink, they don't assign the country code. Is that right?
Something like that seems to be the case, yes. It won't push that country code through with those IP address ranges.
No. So if you just use a VPN, then you're fine. Like, they should... anyway, let's not give them any ideas. All right, cool. Thank you, Plenty. You got any others? I mean, I'm happy to sit back. You got any others you want to answer? People don't appreciate how smart you are, I think.
I mean, any news on the analog chip shortage, they can say no, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, there's this Richwave chip that's used in video transmitters and receivers, and there were some statements from a retailer said that a manufacturer pulled their shipment because they couldn't get enough chips, which is more than just, oh, I heard a rumor. Like, and so did that manifest? First of all, did the shortage manifest, Blunty?
I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I can't say.
It's tricky because
I haven't touched analog in 2
well,
years.
there's
you know
that.
I mean?
It's tricky because, like, if you look at the Rush Solo VTXs, I have heard that that's very, very popular in a certain part of the world where they are consuming a lot of VTXs right now. That the Rush Solo is very popular, and so when you look and you see that Rush Solo is out of stock everywhere, is it that there's not enough supply because the chips are unavailable, or is it that there just is too much demand and they're all getting bought up? So I don't know if we can really confirm that there ever was an analog chip shortage. Like, people are saying, oh, analog VTXs are out of stock, but it's hard to know because frickin' everything's frickin' out of stock for frickin' ever in FPV. So what are you going to do? I don't think we can answer that one, is the takeaway. All right. Morton Upshot wants to know, can LEDs cause a 1S whoop to drop from the sky? I mean, LEDs consume power. If you put enough LEDs on your whoop, theoretically, it could drop your voltage low enough that it would fall out of the sky. But if it just, like, you would know because you'd see the voltage going down. I don't think the LEDs would cause it to literally just fail safe, you know, so I would say no. Poulet. Oh, gotta brush up on my Polish spelling. I believe that's Polish. What is CZ in Polish? Poulet? Oh, I can look this up. How's it pronounced? Ch. Okay, Poulet. Okay. Probably haven't pronounced the other parts right, but there you go. Would a drone planner in the style of SketchUp for web plus RotorBuilds parts be useful for anybody? Think of moving parts, trying different mounts, TPU around and wiring, and seeing the center of mass. An open source project for this could be started. I would say if that sounds fun for you to work on, go for it. I guarantee you that the utility that people get from it will be much less than the amount of work that you put into it, which doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Like, it's kind of cool, but I'm not sure how, like, practically useful it's going to be. And it kind of goes back to, so, like, you're going to model these parts, right? You're going to model flight controller, model frames, but shit changes so fast that, like, it seems like keeping that database up to date is going to be damn near impossible. And then, like, what are you going to do? I'm going to get this flight controller in this frame. Okay, well, we know the frame has 30 millimeter mounting. Like, how many questions are you going to answer by simulating putting the flight controller in the frame? You know? Oh, I can route the wiring. Oh, I'm just going to route the wiring, right? When I get it, you know? So it sounds fun, but I'm not sure. Like, if you were to charge a subscription for it, I don't think many people would buy it. And I think you'd put a ton of work into it. But if it sounds like a fun project to do, then obviously you should do it. You know, there needs to be lots of people just doing fun things because they find them fun and challenging. And then sometimes those turn into, you know, actual productive, profitable, you know, really useful things, even though it didn't seem like they would. Gadget RC wants to know if I'm going to do more videos on the acrylic drone from Black Jungle. Probably not. I mean, like, I'll tell you what, I did make a mistake, and that was I meant to put the second video at the end of the first video and have it be one video. If you guys thought the first video ended abruptly, that was not I confess that was not intentional. I recorded the first video, I recorded that outro, and then I thought, damn it, I'm not going to release the video like this. I'm going to go back, I'm going to fix the top plate, and I'm going to fly this thing. And then I went to fly it. Black Jungle sent me a replacement top plate. I went to fly it, and the ESC lit on fire and exploded. And I went, crap! I guess that's it for that. I went, no, damn it! I'm going to put a new flight controller on this thing, and I'm going to fly it. And I went to fly it, and it went, and then it took off to the moon, and when I disarmed, it crashed and exploded into a million pieces. And so when I edited the first video, I swear I thought I had put the ending on the video. I finished editing it, I rendered it, and then Fabio showed up. Fabio and Maria came, my editor. You guys know that by now, but just in case. They came and visited on vacation for 2 weeks. They came to America. I showed them around. I showed them a good time. I spent a whole 2 weeks barely thinking about work because I really wanted to make sure that while they were here, they had a good time and we got a lot of time together. And then afterwards, I was like, oh, crap, I got to upload that video. And I uploaded it, and I didn't, check it because I was like, well, it's already been rendered. I already checked it. And I somehow, that ending sequence didn't get put onto the end of the video. And then people were like, why didn't you fly it? And I was like, what do you mean? I did too fly it. And then I checked it. I was like, oh, crap. I didn't. So then I uploaded the second part. And I just thought you'd appreciate that context. But no, I don't think I'm going to go back. Already 3 times now, it has broken. And I've gone, damn it, I need to deliver for the people. I will not cop out. I will not, just wuss out and quit. I will fix this and I will deliver what the people want to see this fly. And 3 times now, I have failed to actually get a flight out of it because it has broken in 3 different ways. And I'm just like, okay, forget it. I'm done with it. So that's what happened. Black Jungle has sent me some footage of the quad flying. I don't know why his flies and mine doesn't. Maybe he put different PIDs on it, for example. But I think we've gotten our money's worth out of it. He asked me not to show all of the footage of him flying it because there were a couple things in the flight that he thought maybe people wouldn't really like to see or might have a problem with. Huh. Getting a call. forget that. Anyway, so I can't show you. The flight. Yeah. Okay. Are there any risks or consequences with direct soldering an antenna to the base or pins of the SMA on my rapid fire module with thin coax cable? I don't know what the result would be of soldering to the SMA. Like, if you did want to direct solder the antenna, it seems to me like the thing to do would be to desolder the SMA and then solder to the pads. Like, probably it would work, but I just don't know. And a lot of times when you're dealing with microwave RF, things work weirdly and don't work like you might expect. But the question is, why do you want to do that? Why don't you just use an SMA if you've got an SMA? Like, presumably you've got a good reason. Verbalance. Great question, Verbalance, and also Verbalance in the Discord server. Thank you for being a patron. Always appreciate the people who go the extra mile. I have the Meteor 75 Whoop with blah, 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 blah. I want to use a beeper, but the flight controller has no beeper pad. I have a self-powered beeper. Can I remap the unused LED strip pad to buzzer? Is this the way to go? Okay, so here's the thing I want to tell you. Yes, you can do it, but be careful. So the way the beeper normally works is on the flight controller, there's the MCU, that's the processor. And the MCU has a signal pin that switches the buzzer on and off. But here's the problem. The buzzer pulls so much current that it will burn out the pin on the MCU if the buzzer is driven directly from the pin on the MCU. Now, the buzzer doesn't pull a lot of current, just to be clear, but the pins on the MCU are rated for, like, I don't know, 25 milliamps. Not a lot, okay? So, the way that's solved is that your flight controller has a transistor, and the pin on the MCU triggers the transistor, and then the transistor carries the current, and everything is fine. So normally, if you remap the buzzer pin, and you use a normal piezo buzzer, right? Then the buzzer will work at first, and then shortly thereafter, it'll burn out the pin on the MCU, and the buzzer will stop working, whatever pin you remap to. But if you have a self-powered buzzer, like the V-Fly Finder, like the, what did you say you have? You have the JHE20B. Let's just show that. So if you have one of these self-powered buzzers with an internal battery, then you're good to go. Because this buzzer runs the buzzer off the internal battery. It doesn't run the buzzer directly off the pin on the MCU. Okay? So you can remap your buzzer to LED strip, and you can wire this up as you intend to. But if you had just a standard buzzer like this, that could potentially be a problem, okay? You wouldn't want to remap that. That's one of my favorite little quirks of drone building. I remember the day that I figured out that it was safe to do that if you had a self-powered buzzer, and I was like, oh, and I felt so smart. So. Let's see here. Okay. Luis Usma. My USB port stopped working on my TX16S. When I plug it into my computer, I don't get any of the USB options. This also means I can't use it for simulators. I connect my Zorro and it's no problem. It sounds like the USB port broke. I mean, I hate to presume, but it sounds like the USB port broke. I think you should reach out to Radio Master and see if that is a repairable part or if that's like built into the main board and is not repairable. But unfortunately, you know, I don't really think I have anything to add beyond that. Mao wants to know, can you swap an SDA pin with soft serial? I don't know the answer to that. I would guess that you cannot remap SDA and SCL to soft serial, but I am not sure. Yes! Luis Usma says I pronounced their name correctly. Yes! I love correctly pronouncing foreign names, mostly by accident. I'm so happy when I get them right. I don't know why. It's so easy. I mean, it's so satisfying. It's not easy. I don't know. I'm just babbling now. I'm babbling because I'm remembering a story. I was in a restaurant, and the food I had been given was supposed to be hot, and it wasn't hot enough, like spicy. I had asked for it extra spicy. When it came out, I thought it was not as spicy as I wanted it to be. And I said to the waiter, could I get some chiles? Or chilies. Chili? I didn't say Chile. That's the name of a country. I think I just asked for chilies. And something about the way I said chilies, can I get some chilies? Like, the friends I was with were like, oh, look at you with your pronunciation. Like I had said, like, sorry, I didn't, hey, can I get some chilies here? Like, I'm sorry, I actually attempted to pronounce the word correctly. And then they gave me shit about it. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to pronounce things correctly. And I definitely didn't spend the whole rest of the night thinking about it. No, I did think about it, but not because my friends made fun of me. Obviously, that's inconsequential. But because, like, I didn't want, like, the waiter to think I was affecting an accent. You know, like to make fun of him. You know. I just think you should try to have a, you know, have a correct, pronounce things correctly if you can. So. Okay, enough about that. Let's do a super chat from Kim Fused. Kim Fused, thank you for the super chat. Oh crap, my internet's being shitty. Hold on. It's my Dropbox. My Dropbox is being shitty. That'll fix itself very quickly. I'm supposed to have... No. Is it not Dropbox? Okay, Dropbox is paused. Hold on. Sit tight. Let me make sure. No. I don't know. Well, now we're okay. I think I fixed it. Thank you, Kim Fused, for a $20. You guys are always so generous. Thank you. A drink for you and Mr. Bay, Michael Bay, and for Gardo's charger question. All right, what's Gardo Rotor? What's Gardo Rotor want to ask? RC Toolkit Q6AC charger versus ISDT P10. Why does it take way longer to change the same battery at the same amperage? Is it that bad at its only job? Okay, I have an idea, but before I tell you my answer, is it the Q6AC? I assume? And the ISDT P10. There's one spec that could cause this, and before I tell you what it is, I'm going to check it and see if I'm right. Which one takes longer, Garter Rotor? I'm not looking at the chat, Blunty. Can you keep an eye? Oh, I guess I can see the chat on the right-hand screen. What I'm looking for is the balance current. Balance current, 0.5 amp. That's going to do it. I bet that's going to do it. Okay, I need to find a better... Oh, here we go. Toolkits page. That'll do. The Q6AC is slower? Oh, no, it's about the same. Damn. Well, so the spec that I usually go to is the balance current. If at the very end of the charge cycle, they'll do the balancing. And a lot of times, the balance current spec is really low. And so even if you've been charging at, whatever, 15 amps, 10 amps, when you get to the balancing phase, it'll only balance at like 500 milliamps or 800 milliamps. And that can take a long time, especially on a very big battery, where the balancing can be a substantial amount. But we can see here, 800 milliamps versus 500 milliamps. That's not that much difference. I guess it's a little bit of difference. But that would mean that the P10 would be slower than the Q6AC. And I still am a little bit unclear on which one is slower for you. I asked you, did I ask you which one was slower? And you said the Q6AC? Because now I've forgotten what I asked. The other thing is that they could switch to the balancing phase differently. You know, they switch to that constant current variable voltage mode, and one of them may run it up closer to the line before it switches. I don't know.
Here's my guess.
What's your guess, Plenty?
It's just not calibrated properly, and it's giving you the wrong amperage.
Or maybe it's charging to a higher voltage, and so it's taking longer. The voltage caliber. I've had Toolkit RC chargers where the voltage calibration was off.
I'll just throw a couple things out. If you have a meter, like an amp clamp, you could amp clamp and just see if it's actually drawing the same amperage, and you could watch it over the cycle and see what it's doing. But it should be reporting on the screen to you how it's charging. And then the thing to do is set them next to each other and watch what they're doing. And just see, is one going into a mode differently, and what are the cells when it's doing that? And like, I mean, you know what I mean, to kind of suss out what's going on. But
yeah, good idea. But I would think the P10 would be slightly slower because the balance current is lower. All right. Garter Rotor says it sits at 99% forever. Yeah, that's the balancing at the end. Garter Rotor, here's another thing, and again, I can't guarantee you this, but there's so how does the charger know when the battery's done charging? Well, the way that I understand it works is this. In the beginning, it uses constant current, so you're charging at 10 amps, and it just basically pushes 10 amps into the battery, and it watches the voltage as the voltage gets up. But as the voltage gets closer and closer to the stop voltage, it switches from constant current to constant voltage. So basically, it adjusts the amperage to hold the voltage at 4.2 volts, right? Because we don't want to overcharge the battery. And what happens is that it stays at 4.2 volts, and as the battery charges up and up and up and up, right? Because it's holding the voltage at 4.2, but current's going in. So if you were to stop the current, the voltage would be lower. The battery's not fully charged yet. It's the difference between the voltage that the charger is applying and the voltage of the cell that causes the current to flow. So it reaches a point where it holds the voltage at 4.2 volts, and the current flows into the battery, and the battery comes up, and then eventually the charger goes, okay, we're done. But you see, it could just keep trickling current into the battery to get it to like 4.20 volts instead of 4.19999 volts. And every charger has a threshold where when the current going into the battery drops below a certain threshold, it says the charge cycle is done. So it may just be that one of your chargers is charging closer to 4.2 volts and the other one's going, 4.1995, it's good, we're out. And that might make the difference as well.
Also, like resistance inside of the charger, or design, or voltage calibration, or there's a bunch of things, I would say.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I would say 5-minute difference. Like, I would just be like, meh, who cares? But I mean, I know that you care. Like, obviously, you care. Clive Hunt, you asked this question on the Monday live stream. I remember it, and I ignored it because I don't know the answer. So I'll acknowledge it now because you clearly very much want an answer, and I hate to see you just beating your head against the wall. Like, I guess if I had to buy 6-inch props today, I probably would buy the Ethics 6-inch props. Now, why is that? Well, they're 2 blades. I might want 3 blades. Does Ethics make a 3 blade? It's just because this is what Mr. Steel flies when he does gigs. And they're made by HQ. That's good quality. Just based on like reputation, I probably would feel safe spending my money on this, but I honestly don't know how durable they are compared to what you've got now. Is there a 3-blade version as well? I probably want a 3. No, there's only a 2-blade. Damn. He doesn't. Does it make a 3-blade 6-inch? He doesn't, does he? Damn, that sucks. Oh well. Bi-blade it is. Travis D wants to know, when should you use the CLI in Betaflight and when do you not need it? Travis, the main time when you'll use the CLI is because not all of the configuration options are broken out into the GUI, okay? The graphical user interface, the configurator. The reason that not all the configuration options are broken out into the GUI is there's 2 main reasons, in my opinion. The first one is that some options, like, most people don't need to deal with them. And if they put every option in the GUI, it would just make your eyes bleed. People would take one look at it and they would go, this is ridiculous. And then they would just quit the hobby forever and throw all their quads in the trash. Okay. So they put the options that you're most likely need to deal with in the GUI. And then the options that are not as commonly needed to be touched are kind of tucked away in the CLI. And that way you don't screw them up. Right. That's the other thing. Some of those options, you're like, if you don't know what you're doing, you'll screw them up. And so like, maybe you shouldn't know they exist. Okay. The other reason that not all of the options are in the GUI is that when a new feature is developed, they don't immediately put that in the GUI because it takes some amount of work to update the GUI, to look at those options, to configure those options. And sometimes a new feature comes out and then they get rid of it. They just like, nah, it didn't work out. So they usually leave obscure and new options in the CLI, and only after they become necessary and stable do they get moved to the GUI. The other place I use the CLI is a great place to back up and restore configuration. If you take the CLI dump and you put it in a text file, you can then just copy that text file into the CLI and restore your configuration. You can even copy paste individual parts of it if there are specific parts of your config that you want to restore. Marc-André La Liberté. Ooh, risky going for the French accent. I do not have even a solid fake French accent. Marc-André La Liberty. There you go. What's the best props for the Mobula 8? Maybe like freestyle, but we'll try racing. I don't know. Like if Ciati were here. Is Ciati here? I'll ask him. I usually fly my tiny whoops on whatever props they came with. And I'm like, yeah, it's good. And we don't really have an 85 millimeter on. This is my website, fpvknowitall.com. And we've got a tiny whoop shopping list here. But we don't have 85s on there. So I don't have a suggestion for you. Chat? Best 85 millimeter prop? Willpower FPV says the ones that came with it are probably the best. Yeah, you got to be really careful with very small quadcopters and very small high KV motors. It's really easy to like accidentally overprop the motor and make it fly like shit. There's not. It's the props are. It's fairly sensitive to the props. We got a question here from Kinessel. I have an Avatar HD Mini 1S Lite with a super weak signal. Avatar HD Mini 1S. Comes out of standby mode when I spin up. It's so weak it's beeping 10 feet away. I mean, and you say you've tested it with different goggles. So probably what happened is your antenna got broken and then the VTX was powered up for a while with the antenna missing. Well, walk snail VTXs are supposed to have protection against that. Yeah, Blinty.
What happens if you run too low of a voltage?
Ooh, like, you think his input voltage is too low?
I think he's running off battery, 1S battery instead of 5 volt. So I don't know if that would make a difference.
Ooh, why do you think that? You're just guessing?
That's what he said, I think.
Oh, yeah. If you're powering it off your 1S battery, that's why. It needs 5 volts. It needs 5 volts. You got to run it off a 5 volt regulator. You can't run it off. That's very interesting, Bunty. Good insight there. I probably wasn't going to get there. I was going to assume. Well, I hadn't got there yet, but the radio chipset on the Walksnail and DJI has protection against running with no antenna, so it will shut itself down and not down. I know that DJI does for sure. I know the goggles do. I'm pretty sure the VTX do as well. So I was going that direction, but hadn't figured out yet that I was wrong. Here's a question from Flo, who asks, is there a growing trend towards using lithium-ion batteries instead of LiPos, which in my opinion are a pain in the derriere? Yeah, and Flo, part of that is because there are now better quality, higher C rating lithium-ion, like 18650 or 21700 cells. Like some of the batteries from, there's a company called Upgrade Energy. They make really amazing, like, these batteries are so much better than like every other 18650 cell or pack that I've ever tested. Just exceptional. And in fact, the red line, they don't have the C rating of like a LiPo, like obviously, but the red line can get, like, if you're not doing like really hardcore freestyler racing, they perform surprisingly well, and can deliver many of the benefits of an 18650 or 21700 lithium ion, but still have enough power to like not just sag out and get hot and turn to shit. Like you have to baby them a little bit, but they're pretty freaking good. They're not cheap, but they're pretty freaking good. And then for long range, the green cells outperform freaking everything. Like the additional flight time you get off of these is unreal, gram for gram. So I do see more pilots using lithium ions, in part because high performance lithium ions are more available, but LiPos will always give you that power cheaper, and more power. So it's not without its downsides. Here's a question from David Ray, who says, I was in this years ago and I pulled back from regulations. Now I've got a DJI Avata 2 and the Goggles 3 and the Remote Control 3. What FPVs today work with Goggles 3 and Remote Control 3? By the way, can I point out how cute it is that people have started using FPV as a noun? What FPVs, I mean FPV drones, what FPVs work with these goggles? Bad news, nothing. Yup, you're out of luck. As of today, DJI has not unlocked backwards compatibility between the Goggles 3, the Remote Control 3, and like the O3 Air unit. Interestingly, they just released forwards compatibility between the Goggles 2 and the Avata 2. But the Goggles 3 and the Remote Control 3 basically work with the Avata 2 and like 2 other DJI drones, and that's it. Now, we're pretty sure, I say the royal we, most people are pretty confident that DJI will unlock backwards compatibility eventually. Probably pretty soon. We just don't know. But it's not today. We got a super chat here. Let's do all the super chats actually. Let's catch up on the super chats. We got a super chat here from Eric Schinkel who asks, "What's your favorite chili?" Eric, the answer popped into my head as soon as I read your question. And so I'm going to tell you the answer, even though I'm ashamed of it. Because here's the thing. I eat like a lot of, like, I don't want to overstate it. I don't like eat chili all the time. I do like chili. If chili is available on a buffet, like if I go down the buffet and at the soup station, they've got chili, I'm having the chili, okay? I like chili. Okay, fair enough. I don't consider myself a connoisseur of chili. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I like a nice tomato. Like if a chili has little chunks of fresh tomato in it, not fresh, cooked tomato, but if it's got little chunks of tomato in it, so happy. I like bean. I'm a pro bean. I think if you got a chili with no beans, then basically you just have sloppy joes. You have hamburger helper. Also good, but not, it's its own thing. But I can't say that there's a specific kind of chili that I eat regularly enough that it could be my favorite. It's just like when I'm somewhere and there's chili available, I order it, and then I go, "Oh, I liked it," or "I didn't like it," and then I move on with my life. Except at Wendy's. The only chili that I eat regularly enough that I could even call it my favorite is Wendy's chili. And I mean, Wendy's is a solid chili. It's a solid chili. Like, there you go. I mean, I'll say this. Of all of the drive-through fast food restaurants, okay? So like Five Guys is out because they don't have a drive-through. That's the limit. Of all of the drive-through fast food restaurants, I will say that Wendy's, like especially if you consider the price, value for price, I think Wendy's is the best. Like, is there a better, like, indulgent fast food meal than like a Wendy's single, like a nice order of fries and maybe a bowl of chili, or maybe sub the fries for the chili, because that's a little bit much in terms of food. It's just good. It's good. It's Blenty says Wendy's is garbage. Really, Blenty? Wendy's is garbage?
Wendy's is my least favorite fast food. You could not give me a fast food I like worse than Wendy's. I go to Jack in the Box over Wendy's. I would go to anywhere over Wendy's.
Really? Are you like... That's so hard for me to imagine. You just don't like the way they make their burgers?
Yeah, they're not good.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. There you go. I mean,
I've never been to Wendy's and been like, "Oh, this is a good meal."
No, see, like if I go to Wendy's, so like normally my standard order at Wendy's is the spicy chicken sandwich. So I don't even get the burgers. But like if I'm feeling like a burger, like I feel like it's like not a great burger, but I'm happy with it. It's like it's got a good balance. The meat's fresh. It's got a good balance of the different flavors. You know, texture's nice. Don't like it, huh? Just don't like it, huh? There you go. They got the rustic cut fries. Maybe they've gotten worse. Or maybe it's regional. You think it's regional, Blunty? You got to come up here and get a Wendy's.
I don't know. I don't trust fresh, never frozen. That's scary,
but they
right?
They wouldn't say that if that wasn't true, Blunty.
Yeah, I don't. No. I'm saying that's a bad thing. Just freeze it. I don't want you carrying around unfrozen meat for any length of time.
Fair. Wendy's now Synthetic points out that Wendy's chili is made from leftover burgers. Now hang on, you say that like it's a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. The burgers are on the griddle, they're cooking, and they're hot and fresh. And then when they reach a point where they're like too old, they're dry, they chop them up and they throw them in the chili. There's nothing wrong with that. That's good quality control. They're not serving the dry, patties. What do you do with meat that's a little overcooked? You throw it in a stew. This is like Kitchen 101. It doesn't taste dry when it's in the chili. It tastes good. Okay. So, Blunty, what's your favorite drive-through fast food, Blunty? Favorite?
Top of my head is Taco Bell.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Okay, I forgot. I don't want to stereotype you as a stoner, but I feel I'm very tempted because you said Taco Bell was your favorite. That's
Look, they have a set of ingredients that works. And they use those ingredients in different ways to make tasty items.
You're 100% right. I would never seek out Taco Bell. I just feel like, yeah.
I'm not including like Freddy's and A&W. There's certain fast food restaurants that I don't count as fast food because I would just never go there.
I know what you mean. Freddy's is good. Freddy's is good. Yeah. Freddy's a good burger. There's just not any Freddy's. Like Wendy's is everywhere. There's like one Freddy's I know of, and it's like 30 minutes from my house. Freddy's is good though. Yeah. All right. Well, agree to disagree. I feel just as strongly about your Taco Bell. I cannot imagine a person saying Taco Bell was their favorite place to get fast food. But I respect you, and we can have our differences, and that's the beautiful thing about the world. Okay. Okay. Continuing. Flying Nuggets. Thank you for a $2 super chat, and a thank you for everything I do. Thank you, Blunty and JB. Best live stream team. Thank you for €2. Verbalance. Neo97 gave $20. Thank you, Neo. Very generous. I need to fly in an area with lots of Wi-Fi access points. Strong dual band Wi-Fi coverage. I'm using analog. Can I just fly on channel 8, or do I need 1.3G? If you fly on race 8, you will not overlap with any of the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi stops here, and race 8 is up here. So you're good to go there. Sunshine, thank you for a $10 super chat. I've been thinking of switching to RealSteady and Hypersmooth software, but it seems there's general disagreement on whether using Hypersmooth to film and RealSteady post can be worse than doing everything post. So look, Sunshine, I don't know. I've done a little bit of this, but I'm not qualified to disagree with people who maybe do cinematic shooting all day long, So if somebody who does this shit all day long says, no, there's a difference, then I defer. But my thinking is this: since RealSteady can do everything in post, why wouldn't you? Right? Is there an advantage to you? One of the cool things about GoPro RealSteady is that you can use Hypersmooth at record time and still use RealSteady in post. You can't take it out, but you can add more stabilization. And normally, if you use stabilization in the camera, you can't use stabilization in post. But GoPro's figured that out, I guess, because RealSteady is their product now. But why wouldn't you just reel steady everything in post and be good to go? That's my thought. I don't know. Is there a reason you want to hyper smooth it? Like, you want to make absolutely sure that no one can see how crappy your flying is, so you need to bake the stabilization in at least a little bit, and then you're going to reel steady it a little more in post? I don't know. Eric Schinkel, thank you for a $5 super chat. Let's just make sure Eric doesn't have a question. Let me make sure. He asks, oh, there we go. What's your favorite chili? Yeah, okay, that was we got that question answered. Thank you, Eric, for another donation. And Crispy Drip, thank you for selflessly answering my emails. You're the breast. Thank you for $10. Okay. That's an interesting argument. Blunty is arguing in the Discord that fast food burgers are attempting to be a real burger and doing it badly, but Taco Bell isn't trying to be a real taco, and it just is what it is.
Taco Bell doesn't. When I'm eating Taco Bell, I don't feel like I'm eating Mexican.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
eating
no.
an American,
You're eating Taco Bell.
I'm eating an American creation that is Taco Bell.
Yeah, agree.
But if I'm eating a burger, I like feel bad because I'm eating a burger and I'm like, this is greasy and the bun's not what I like and like the toppings aren't fresh and like
I mean, it sounds
I
like
have to get a perfect fast food burger to get a good burger. So it's
sounds
like, why would
like
I
you
even
have
ever get that?
high standards for burgers, is what
I
I
have
would
high
say.
standards for most of food, so you just don't make Taco Bell at home.
You eat Taco Bell, so you have to relax your standards at least some of the time. Taco Bell is objectively like not like just in terms of the quality of the meat, the quality of the produce. It's comfort food, but it's not like good food.
But it tastes good. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no magic in a McDonald's burger to me that tastes better than a real burger. But there's magic
I'm
in a
not going to
Taco
defend
Bell
McDonald's burgers. I'll defend Wendy's.
I'm just saying, like, I think, yeah, I don't know. Hey, bad takes, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, okay. I mean, hey,
Taco Bell is delicious.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
It's scientifically engineered. There's teams of people in rooms making new products.
It's scientifically engineered. It's scientifically engineered to cost 99 cents. They're like, okay,
not
guys.
Anymore. When's the last time you went to Taco Bell?
What does it cost now? How much is a soft taco?
I mean, a quesadilla is like $6.99. Soft taco is like $3.29.
Shut the fuck up.
It's insane.
That's like the one reason to go to Taco Bell.
I used to buy beefy 5 layers for like 99 cents, and you could get full off of 2.5 of them.
Okay, first of all,
insane.
These pictures are more dishonest than a Tinder profile. Okay? There is no world in which there's that much beef in a soft taco Supreme. Maybe a Supreme, but I don't think so. I've gotten a soft taco and you open it up and there's just like the thinnest thread of meat in there. Like the idea that you could actually not close the tortilla over the soft taco. Okay, but $2.89 for a soft taco Supreme? What's a plain soft taco?
It's insane, isn't it?
$1.69 for a soft taco. That's not that much more than 99 cents. The fuck, all these add-ons.
We also have a new Cheez-It Crunch Wrap. So that's, they're out there. They're thinking outside the bun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're got all these permutations. Okay, guys, here are all of our ingredients. Let's just throw darts at the board and figure out what our new product is. Oh my goodness. Okay. How about this? I didn't catch the name. Somebody pointed out in Europe we have these. I'm familiar with these. Yeah, so I don't know why these aren't more popular in America. So here's how this works. You go into the gas station and you say, I'd like a hot dog, please. And then they look at you and they're like, they have no idea what you're saying because they don't speak English. So you point and you say hot dog, and you hope that the local word for hot dog is the same. What they do is they got these buns, these baguettes, whatever, and they're separate. They got the meat and it's on the little roller, right? And they take the bun out and the bun's hollow. And the lady takes the ketchup, squirts the ketchup in the bun, takes the mustard, squirts the mustard in the bun, takes mayo, squirts the mayo in the bun. Then she takes the hot dog. Hang on. She takes the hot dog and she butter churns that hot dog down into that bun. Sauce coming out the top. And she's making direct eye contact with you the whole time. And she gives it to you and you eat it. I don't know why this hasn't caught on in America. It's good. These are, I mean, they're still hot dogs, but think about this. Would you eat a hot dog in your car while you're driving down the road? No, it's too messy. This, you eat this driving down the road? Hell yeah.
Chat feels like you should know that a corn dog exists.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't get what about the toppings?
That's fair. You got to get the ones with cheese in the middle.
That yeah, that's good. That's good. The other end is not open, Dingles. The other end is closed. They've thought of everything. This is a great invention. And the thing about the invention, I like the first time I saw one of these served up, I was like, they know this is obscene, right? I'm not the only one here watching this lady freaking a hot dog into a condiment lubricated bun of a, like I'm not the only one, like we're all seeing this, right? And then it's just like, nah, this is normal. This is a normal thing to do. I'm just going to eat this. Anyway, yeah. I don't know why it hasn't caught on. The Blackout wants to know, is it worth swapping to iNav for a Nazgul 5v3 that mainly does freestyle but also long-range cinematic? Mainly looking for pause hold and alt hold. Thank you for a $5 super chat. I mean, here's the thing. If the flight controller has an iNav target, heck, just go for it. But just save your config dump before you flash it. And if you don't like the results, go back, right? What's the big deal? Give it a try. It's not like you're going to screw it up so badly that you can never go back. If at any point you're frustrated or bored, just reflash it to Betaflight and restore your configuration. You're good to go. Thank you, H23, for a $2 super chat. No question, so I'll just take it as a donation. Thank you for your donation. Crispy Drip, thanks for another $10. Working on my first build. I have an HD0 Freestyle V2, Hobbywing X-Rotor 40 amp stack. I want to build a Mario 5 frame, but I don't know if it'll work. I think all that stuff will fit on a Mario 5. Yeah, I think you're good to go. Oh. Thank you, What's the Matter, for $2 to help cover my lost monetization. Mao wants to know, does the walk snail display work on soft cereal? I don't see why not. It might be a little slow, and it might update slowly, but I don't see why not. I would run it on a UART if you can, but sometimes you can't. The thing is, the OSD is usually not like mission critical. If you lose your OSD, you're not going to fall out of the air. The worst thing that might happen is you lose track of your battery voltage and then you kill your battery. But like you probably could deal with that. Christopher Concrete asks, how do you spectate on Walksnail? I want my daughter to ride along. Christopher, there are two things you need to do. The first is that you need to turn on broadcasting in the pilot's goggles. That is in the... I don't remember which menu it is. I can probably look. Hold on. Oh, God. Now I have to find a battery for my dang goggles and a cable. Oh, wow. So annoying. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Mao, if the OSD isn't working, it might be because of soft serial, but I don't know for sure. More likely, I think that you, like, I mean, are you sure your soft serial is even working? Like, a lot of times when people think they've set up soft serial, it's not even working. So it's possible that your soft serial is screwed up. Okay, going back to this question about spectating in Walksnail. In the settings, yeah, at the bottom of the settings menu, there is an option to broadcast. It's in the lower right, and you need to turn that on in the pilot goggles. Then, in the spectator goggles, go to the share menu and turn on share. And you should see an identifier for the pilot goggles. You highlight that identifier and you click it and it tunes into them. Thank you, EMAFPV, for a $2 super chat. Let's see here.
Real quick, sorry.
Yeah.
Is serial 11 soft serial 1? Is that right?
Serial TX11.
Right, but you know how you go in the serial and you can set the serial commands through the CLI?
Yeah.
Serial 11?
Yeah, that's soft serial 1. Yeah, so what you need to do, I was just thinking about this actually. What you need to do is, if you go to, the first thing you're going to do, why am I on the wrong page? Here we go. What you're going to do is you're going to type resource and you're going to look here, and if you don't see soft serial here, which is going to be serial TX11 and serial RX11, if you don't see that, then soft serial is not configured. Okay, so like let's say I want to put soft serial on LED strip, or how about our motor? That's a better one. Motor 8 is B11, motor 7 is B10. Great. B11 and B10. So I'm going to say resource serial TX11 B10, resource serial RX11 B11. Okay, and save. So now I have told the flight controller that if soft serial becomes enabled, then it's going to be on motor 7 and 8 as the TX and RX. So now we'll go back to the CLI and type resource. And do you see, sure enough, here it is. Serial RX11, serial TX11. But, wait. Soft serial doesn't work yet. Because if I type resource show, so the resource command is all of the things that could be on a given pin, but not all of the things that are on the given pins. So sometimes you could have multiple things. Do you see? Hang on. No, you can't see because I got to go down. Damn it. Do you see that motor 7 is on B10 and motor 8 is on B11? But also serial TX11 is on B10 and serial RX11 is on B11. How can there be two things on the same pin? The answer is there can't. Because the resource command is not showing you what is on the pin. It's showing you what might be on the pin. How do you know what's actually on the pin? You type resource show. Aha. Now, if we look at resource show, what is on B10 and B11? Nothing. Because this is not an octocopter. We don't have 8 motors. And we haven't enabled soft serial. So a lot of people, they do the resource part and they think they're done. You're not done. You have to do resource show. And sure enough, there's nothing on those pins. Well, what do we need to do then? Well, for example, if I go to motors, and I change my mixer from a Quad X to an X8, save and reboot. Then I go to the CLI and type resource show. Look, B10 and B11 are motor 7 and motor 8. Aha. Well, that's not what I wanted. I want soft serial. But you see, now those pins actually have a resource on them. So let's go back to motors. Let's change this back to a Quad X. Save and reboot. And now let's turn soft serial on. That's going to be done in the configuration tab. Here at the bottom, we'll turn soft serial on and save and reboot. And now, if I go to the CLI and type resource show, crap, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? I bet I know why. Because if I go back to, I know why. Because if I go back to configuration, oh crap, soft serial is on. I'm going to guess that the problem is that Betaflight doesn't have soft serial support by default. Hang on. Other options. Soft serial. Come on. Am I crazy? Nope. Okay, well now I'm a little stumped. Why didn't it work? What have I missed? Soft serial's enabled. Do I have to actually enable a resource? Where? No, where's soft serial? The hell? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I don't know. I'm stumped now. Resource.
While you're looking real quick, what happens if you don't set pins and then you just turn on soft serial?
I don't know. It doesn't work. That's for sure.
Like, you don't get anything in the ports tab, right? Like, what triggers the ports tab showing up is the question.
Well, the resource has to be assigned and active on a pin.
Okay.
Why didn't that work? Is there a conflict? I don't know why there would be a conflict that would make that not work.
My off-the-wall guess is timer or DMA from 4.5.
Yeah.
We've been having problems with bidirectional. Or,
how about if I do?
but I don't know.
Serial TX. Let's do LED strip. Because I would think the motors have dedicated DMA channels and timers, because they do, because DShot requires that. I would think motors would work, but maybe the motors aren't working. Let's try LED strip. Pin
Check,
808.
hey,
What?
check the Discord. There's somebody linked a little snippet there.
Oh, okay. Not there. Resource soft serial TX1. Shut the hell up. Oh. Why did it let me do that, though? Oh, they've changed it. Well, flip me. What does it say? Soft serial underscore TX1. Fine. So I've assigned UART 11, so that syntax is no longer right. Oh, look. See, there we go.
Quartz in chat says genuine Betaflight experience right here. Yes.
Soft serial TX1 B10. Okay. Let's look at our resource lines now. Soft serial TX1 is B10. Soft serial RX1 is B11. Save and reboot. Thanks, Betaflight, for changing that. I mean, it does make more sense than just having to know that 11 is soft serial. And configuration, soft serial enabled. And ports, we got a soft serial. Yay! And the fact that we have soft serial here means that it worked. But just to be clear, if I go back here and do resource show, B11, shut up! Why is it free? Do I have to actually enable something? It shouldn't be free. Sensor input GPS. Save and reboot. Resource show. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, so I had to actually assign something in the ports tab. And now those pins are being used for soft serial. Okay? So, let me just recap since we've spent 20... the chat's just dropping off. Let me recap. The first thing you do is you type resource, and you identify which pins you want to assign soft serial to. If you have extra motors, that's a good choice. Like this is 8 motor outputs, but I'm only using 4. Otherwise, it's a little tricky. Can be a little tricky. You can use unused UART pins usually. Like if you're using TX2 but not RX2, you could turn RX2 into a soft serial. And you can always use LED strip, but the motors are better. Identify 2 pin numbers. Then resource soft serial underscore RX. And one of the pin numbers, resource soft serial underscore TX. And the other pin number, save. Configuration tab, enable soft serial. And then at that point, if everything's gone correctly, you should have soft serial in the ports tab and can assign it to something. Done.
Okay, now I have a question. Another question.
Oh, God.
So the command is serial and then 0, like to set a serial is serial 0, and you used to do serial 11. So is it now serial underscore TX space 1? Is that probably going to be how you assign it?
Soft serial underscore TX, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah. The resource is now named soft serial underscore TX. So Mao is showing in his chat, where is your soft serial, Mao? Are you on Betaflight 4.5, Mao?
His soft serial is working because he can see it in the ports tab.
Yeah, but is it in resource show? Where is it? He's got serial TX11. This must be Betaflight 4.4. Yeah, it's working.
They're both there. Yeah.
Okay, so it's working. Yep, Mao, I agree your soft serial is working. Next, you got to figure out what else isn't working, but your soft serial is working. Okay. All right. Well, nice little deep dive there. That's always fun to do. I didn't know that about the soft serial, so I'm going to file that away. Excuse me. Okay. Let's see here. Do you 3D print any Cinewhoop frames, and what materials would you use? No. Brody Porch, 3D printed frames larger than maybe 65 or 75 millimeter are extremely questionable in terms of their performance and their durability. I wouldn't do it. If you were going to print, 3D print like a Cinewhoop frame, I think carbon fiber nylon, like PAHTCF, is one of the only sort of materials that will have the right blend of strength and stiffness. FPV Booth wants to know if there are downsides to setting D-Shot EDT equals on. Well, that's interesting. I don't know what D-Shot EDT is. Do you, Blunty?
Yeah, it's the extended D-Shot telemetry we talked about, where now they're adding extra stuff to the D-Shot packets because there was room.
Oh, I don't remember talking about that. Must have been in the news. I usually zone out for
we
that.
We did a news story on it.
So it's basically doing ESC telemetry stuff in D-Shot telemetry.
Yeah, they were just like, hey, there's a bunch of extra room in these packets, so like,
yeah.
Or there's a bunch of extra room on this line, so why don't we just jam a bunch of extra stuff in there?
So basically no downside to enabling it, since there's a bunch of room anyway.
As far as I know, unless there's a bug that hasn't been documented, right? Because that's possible, right? But as far as I know, the only issue is you'll just not get some of the telemetry if it's not working properly. Like the temperature would read 0 or something, right? But you're not going to get like an actual
It's not going to mess up your motors.
Yes.
Okay. APX says, I've got an intermittent problem that might stump you. After flashing Betaflight 4.5, my OSD will sometimes not be visible, and the drone is unresponsive. Unplugging and plugging back in will fix it. APX, if the flight controller becomes non-responsive, that's either a hardware issue with the flight controller or a firmware issue. And if it just started happening after flashing Betaflight 4.5, then it suggests that there's something wrong with that target in 4.5, in my opinion. Like, I've had quadcopters where literally the whole OSD would freeze up and stop working, and it would just not work until, not just the OSD, but the whole flight controller stopped working. And then when you power cycle, it'd be fine. And I don't know what could cause that. Literally, the entire flight controller just freezes, other than a bug or hardware damage. I think, what target is it, APX? Is it an obscure target? I hope, maybe. And we could say, oh, maybe the target has a bug. Jeff Smith says, I'm just starting. I have an EV800D, Meteor 75 Pro, and a Radiomaster Pocket. What would you first upgrade? Yeah, Jeff, you're thinking nicer goggles next. Of those things, I would get nicer goggles next. That I think is the thing that will make the biggest difference in your overall experience. Oh, Black Jungle. Black Jungle's a glutton for punishment. He said, given how the acrylic frame performed, I'm going to send you an MDF frame. It actually flew way better. Black Jungle, when you fly that frame, do you adjust the PIDs or the filters, or do you just fly it on defaults? We'll wait for him to reply. Hey Joshua, I broke my first camera lens on my Mob 6 HD0 Eco. Is there a spare lens I can buy without buying the full camera? I can't find any. I think you have to contact HD0. I mean, it's likely that there's an aftermarket lens that fits it, but I wouldn't want to suggest and just be guessing. If the focal length of the lens isn't right or the thread isn't right, then it won't work. I think you should ask HD0 though. HD0 is usually very responsive and may be able to point you to something or sell you a spare. Justin Waller says, if I pay you $20, will you live react to the new Eminem song? No. If I play the Eminem song on my live stream, then I will risk getting demonetized and copyright and all that BS, and I'm not going to do it. Should I fly the O3 in ultra wide if I'm using gyroflow? That's debatable depending on how much stabilization you want to apply. So flying in ultra wide, you know, you'll get more sort of fisheye, but you'll also have more latitude for stabilization. I think if you're not sure, go ahead and do it. And then if you notice after a couple of jobs that you're constantly, you know, having to crop in extra because it's wider than you need it, then maybe it's safe to go one step into wide from ultra wide.
Wait. Sorry, maybe you said this. I was just doing questions. You can't use the stabilization ultra wide though, right?
Oh, it doesn't record the gyro data, does it, Blunty?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in ultra wide it does not record, right?
Oh, yes. I just learned this like this week and was gobsmacked on a live stream probably. No, you're right. It only records the gyro data in wide. So cancel everything I just said. You have to use wide. Good thing you're here, Blunty. Let's see here. We got a super chat from Paul Sang. Any thoughts on the new T-Motor Bando motors? 2306.5, 2208. I think that motors are mostly marketing. I don't see them. Where's the Bando? Here we go. T-Motor FPV. T-Motor Bando. No, don't play music. Its FPV is a joint initiative between Top Pilot, Its Skin FPV, and DoD FPV to create premier products for FPV enthusiasts. All right. Fly with confidence. I like that it's a Unibel. Unmatched durability and performance. Yeah. 2 stator sizes.
Killdozer says, wow, those look groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking! Wait, I'm going to try again. I'm going to do this again. You're right, Plenty. Hang on. Thoughts on the new T-Motor Bando motors? Okay, Paul's saying I'm going to check those out. Oh my God! Wow. Unbelievable. What have they done? What am I even looking at? Like, there's a thing, and then some things, and a thing, and then these things. Wow. I don't need these anymore. Yeah. I don't need these anymore. Nah. Everything has changed. Okay. Groundbreaking. Low KV. What does it say about low KV? Went too fast. Too fast. With its low K, incredible efficiency and precise throttle control. So low KV might mean low amp draw. Doesn't necessarily mean efficiency. Low KV does give more precise throttle control because it's just not spinning as fast, and so you have more resolution. That is accurate. Low pitch. So basically, we're just going with 1750 is not that low KV. I mean, I guess it's a little low KV. So we're going for underpowered freestyle rigs, but then we get more control. It's valid. I mean, I hardly think 1750 kV is, groundbreaking. Doesn't really say a lot about why the motors are durable. It's a unibell. Like, have they done something with the way the magnets are installed in the bell to keep the magnets from getting knocked loose? I do think this sort of bulged shape of bell tends to be more durable. That's what the iFlight Zing has used, that shape. Another thing people sometimes do to increase the motor's durability is they have more spacing between the top of the bell and the stator and the windings, so the bell doesn't hit the windings. They could have increased air gap, which increases durability. It doesn't say a lot about what they've done to increase the durability. It just says it's more durable. So hard to judge. Hard to judge. Hard to judge. Here's the thing. Can I buy them? Have I got more details? We'll go with the 2208. Oh, no. Dead to me. $30. Dead to me. No world. There's no world. There's no world. I'm sorry. And I know the F80, I know the F80 is not the same motor. Like, for example, it's not a unibell. $27. Okay, well, I'll give you this. It's got features that the F80 doesn't have. I think it's probably a better motor than the F80. Hard to say for sure. The F80 is not really designed for durability. It's designed for performance. I just don't know. Why would you pay $30 for this, for a motor? For a 2208 motor? I don't see it. I just do not see it. That's a big, beefy base. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that $30 for this motor is the right choice compared to other things that are out there. Yeah, sorry. There's no world in which I'm paying $30 for a 2208 motor. No world. No world. It's just not going to happen. I don't care how durable it is. I'm going to destroy it. End of story. So, there you go. And the reason it's $30 is... Yeah, anyway. Never mind. Anyway. Alrighty. Carrie Miller, you got it. Carrie Miller, I couldn't agree more. A Bando motor, I don't care how durable the motor is, when you fly it in a Bando, you will kill it. So compared to a $17 motor, this motor needs to run twice as long just to break even. And I'm so skeptical. There's only so much you can do to improve the durability of a 2208 motor. And I don't think you've made it durable enough to run twice as long. If you're going into a Bando bashing situation, I think you want cheap motors that you can replace when you destroy them. Or I need you to tell me specifically how it's more durable. What have you done to make it more durable? Don't just say it's more durable. Because we fly Bandos. And, we know. See my YouTube channel? Look at all the Bandos I fly. Here's my motor. It's durable. Tell me why it's more durable. Tell me what you did differently. Like AMAX Inno motors, I was looking at them recently, and they've got some way that they mount the magnets, and like the bell is shaved out, so the magnet is not just glued onto the bell, but it's like literally sort of hugged by the bell. It's recessed into the bell, and it's supposed to keep the magnets from slipping. And like, I also think AMAX Inno motors are too expensive for me. I wouldn't buy them. But at least they're like showing me what they did to justify the price. Anyway. Dr. Dell, is it worth getting into drones considering all the regulations that have come up? Do you think they'll continue to get worse until it's not worth the trouble to fly in the U.S.? I'll answer the middle of your question. Yeah, it's going to get worse. Like, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I want to be a realist. And, like, it may get worse slower, or it may get worse faster, but it's not going to get better. Right now, the amount of regulation on hobby drone flying is the lowest it will be in going forward. It will only go up from here. That's my opinion. At least for the foreseeable future, for a few decades. Who knows? You know, in 50 years, who knows what'll happen? Well, it doesn't matter, because we'll all be freaking living in water world. You know, nobody will be flying drones. I don't know. So, regulation will get worse. Now, is it still worth getting into drones? 100%. 100%. Drones are awesome. Is it not worth the trouble? Oh, dang it. Stop it, Dropbox. That's my fault. I said 1 hour. It started up again. Sorry about that, guys. Is it worth getting into drones? Yeah, totally. I mean, you just have to ask yourself how much of a pain in the ass and how much money you're willing to spend. It's definitely not at a point where I would say, nah, screw it. It's over. If I reached a point where I thought the hobby was dead, I would just retire and go do something else with my life. Like, the only reason I'm here making content is because you guys are out here enjoying the hobby. That's always been why I make content. You know? So, like, hypothetically, if this Drones for First Responders Act goes through, and hypothetically, if 3 years from now, you know, a flight controller costs $200 and a whole drone costs $1,000, and nobody can afford to be in it, well, obviously my analytics will reflect that. I'll be like, all right, time to pack it in. But, like, here's the thing: when Remote ID first happened, like, it was on the horizon. It hadn't even happened yet. There were people, and I know because they were in my live stream comments, they were in my email inbox, and they said, that's it. Hobby's over. I'm out. And now here we are. That was 2020. Here we are 4 years later, still having a great time. You know? It's like, it'd be like if you got the doctor was like, I'm sorry, you have a terminal disease. You've probably got 5 or 7 years to live. And you were like, that's it, I'm out. Nah, that's it. Oh, it's not worth it. I quit. I'm not going to say the keyword that will get me demonetized. Like, you don't know how much time you have left. FPV is a great hobby. If you can be in it today, 100% get in it. And then some bullshit will happen. And you'll go, oh, man, bullshit happened. Guess what? Bullshit's been happening. As long as I've been in the hobby, every year it's some new bullshit. My God, if there's any hobby where we should be able to have some bullshit happen and just roll with it, isn't it FPV? Because, like, every day you go to fly and it's some bullshit. You show up at the field and your props, you didn't bring your props. You go to take off and your prop nuts are loose and the quad flips over. You take off, you fly away, your friend powers up and knocks out your video and you crash and you break a motor and you break an arm. And it's been 2 hours you've been since you left home and you've gotten one flight. And in that flight, you tried to do a trippy spin and you crashed, even though you know how to do a trippy spin. What the hell's going on? Why? And then you go home and when your LiPo's lit on fire, thank God it didn't burn your house down. This whole hobby is nothing but bullshit after bullshit, and somehow we keep doing it, and the regulations happen, and some people go, that's it, that's the line. That's the line. My God, if you had the determination to get in this hobby at all and deal with the bullshit of building and flying and maintaining one of these stupid little robots, my God, you can just ignore some stupid regulation that probably isn't, until the day you can't. And when that day comes, then we'll all pack it in and we'll all go do something else. But that day's not here. Not today. That's what I say. Yeah, I don't know. Not as inspiring and upbeat as you might have hoped for. I see things like the Countering CCP Drones Act, and I see this now, the new thing, the Drones for First Responders Act, and it sure seems like they got it out for us. And if they do have it out for us, don't kid yourself that there's anything you can do to stop it. Sorry. Like, forget about it. There are tidal forces at work here, and we are a tiny little boat being swept along with the waves. So anyway, what's your number one 3D printer for $400 or $500? Thank you for a $2 super chat, CJR Prints. It's whatever bamboo printer is in your budget. $400 to $500. How about the A1 3D? That's the one. Is the P1S? No, that's with the combo. Nope, it's the A1, the Bamboo Lab A1 3D. Bamboo Lab makes such good freaking printers. There you go. $400 for the A1 without the multi-material system, or $600 for the A1 with the multi-material system. I'm not gonna like go on my bamboo rant again. They're so freaking good. They're not perfect, but in my opinion, they're just head and shoulders above just about any other hobby grade printer. Just about the only reason, like the only one that comes close, in my opinion, is Prusa. And the advantage of Prusa is like the open source community based ethos, which more, I think that in terms of ease of use and performance, Bamboo exceeds Prusa. It hurts me to say it. I think in terms of value for money, Bamboo exceeds Prusa. But you are kind of locking yourself into that ecosystem, and Prusa has, freaking Bamboo Slicer is based on Prusa Slicer because Prusa open sourced it. How freaking ironic is that? But that's what it is. So, like, depending on how you feel about, voting with your dollars, you might get a Prusa. But if you don't support that, and obviously I don't, sorry. I just want a great printer that freaking works and gives me great results, and I'm okay. I love that gilded cage. Lock me in that gilded cage, baby. Yeah. Proprietize me more, daddy. Thank you, Ron, for 50,000 IDR. Indonesian rupiah. I have a freestyle using HD RunCam Link. When my quad hits something, my video signal's lost. Probably your video transmitter is losing power when either from the impact or from the motors surging. So if you're powering the video transmitter off a regulator, maybe the regulator's browning out when the motors surge. Try powering the video transmitter off a battery voltage, assuming it's within the rated voltage of the video transmitter. Maybe that's an issue. Thank you, Garter Rotor, for a $2 super chat for being real. Andrew Hollywood asks, can we reverse the scroll wheel direction for the scroll wheel in Edge TX? Only by recompiling the firmware. I guess Edge TX is always adding new options. I don't believe that a reversible scroll wheel is one of the options. I guess I can't be sure about that. I don't think so, though. Thank you for the compliment on my shirt, Silverstone. This is actually Umagod's shirt from when the Moon Goat frame came out. This is not a TBS shirt. That is a goat, not a sheep, if it matters to you. And I don't think you can get it anymore. Captain Bright says that Edge TX does have the option to reverse the scroll wheel now. Well, see, that's why I hedged my bet. You can reverse the scroll wheel in Edge TX. So flash to the newest version of Edge TX and find that option. Brandon English is wanting to get into an HD 5-inch drone. Can't decide between DJI and Walksnail. What would you choose for your first HD 5-inch quad? Brandon, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm not going to give you an answer on that one. I'm not sure I could give you like an honest answer. I have to tell you, these days I would lean a little bit towards Walksnail. The DJI O3 system with the Vista generation of air units, there were a lot of aftermarket cameras you could choose from to try and pick what you wanted. With the O3, they've locked you into one camera. And I like the flexibility of the Walksnail system. The raw performance is not as good, but I like the Walksnail system better. The polish is not as good. It's kind of like what I was saying about Bamboo versus Prusa. Like in DJI's case, they have a really solid product, but it's like you get what they give you and that's it. And when it comes to 3D printers, I just want something that freaking works and I don't have to think about it and I just push a button and it spits out what I want. And Bamboo delivers that. When it comes to my FPV drones, I kind of like the flexibility that Walksnail gives. And like, we're really talking about like a 49-51% thing here. It's not a big lead. Like, it wouldn't take very much to convince me, screw it, I'm going with DJI. In fact, like, a lot of the time when I sit down to build a quad, I'm like, yeah, no, but I'm putting DJI in it, right? But I really do like the variety of hardware that Walksnail brings to the table with, 1S video transmitter, a regular video transmitter, a low light camera. There's just a lot of stuff there. So I don't think you should just pick one based on my little rambling there. You should do the research and decide for yourself. I think either of them is a solid choice. They just have different pros and different cons. Jonas GSXR, thank you for a $10 super chat and some very kind words. Black Jungle, any thoughts on the HD0 Eco? You're going to work on a video? Yeah, Black Jungle, I actually have the HD0 Eco. I need to put it in a whoop and test it out. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I do intend to. That's not a promise, though. C. Joe asks, thank you for $2, C. Joe. You start a fast food restaurant. What's on the menu? Chicken wings! Fast food, drive-through chicken wings. Who doesn't want to be driving down the road in their car with a big steaming bowl of chicken wings in front of them? Little thing of a ranch or blue cheese, some celery, some carrots, just sitting there in front of you, and you got those wings, and you're driving with one hand, and you're trying to debone the chicken with the other. You're throwing the chicken bones out the window for the rats to get. The buffalo sauce falls over on your lap. Drive-through chicken wings. That's my fast food idea. Well, you're laughing now, buddy. Drive-through chicken wings. Is there such a thing? Technically, Zaxby's has chicken fingers and wings. And a drive-through. Up South FPV, thank you for a $10 super chat. I put a Toothless 2 Nano in a Flywoo Firefly V1 and it only broadcasts on channel I3 when it's tuned to B8. Tried updating the VTX table, no luck. The first thing I do up south when I think I have a VTX table problem is I disable smart audio in the ports tab and I try changing channel with buttons. Does the Toothless 2 Nano have buttons? Wait. Whoa. That's a camera. There is no way that changing the camera could cause the VTX to broadcast on a specific channel. That's not possible. Blunty, am I crazy? Like, I hate to make such a strong statement without backing it up.
What? I'm sorry?
This person says they changed the camera on their Flywoo Firefly V1. The Toothless 2 Nano. They put a new camera on, and now it only broadcasts on channel I3 when it's tuned to B8. It's impossible. Like, I hesitate to say impossible because someone will come up with some edge case, but like as close to impossible as I could ever imagine. Changing the camera doesn't change what the channel the video transmitter broadcasts on. So there's something missing from this story. And since there's something missing, I'm not sure what to tell you from here. I believe your video transmitter is integrated into your flight controller. It's not a discrete VTX. So I don't think there's like a button you could push. It makes me think your VTX table is messed up. So maybe we could download the factory config for the Flywoo Firefly and reload the VTX table. Thank you, Wolf, for a $10 super chat. Just want to say hi and thanks for all you do. Thank you, Wolf, for the donation. We're coming to the end of the stream. We got about 5 minutes left. Let's see here. What video system can fly with other systems the most? They split the flying group at my meet into Analog and HD0, Walksnail, and DJI Vista. I was the only O3 guy, and they said I needed to single out. Wow, okay, so that sucks. I'm sorry about that. The problem is that if the O3 is on auto, sometimes it can behave unpredictably, and people don't like that. If you put the O3 on manual and then change the bandwidth to 20 megahertz, then you can use channels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do the channel numbers line up, Blunty? Oh, I can't remember.
I think like 6, 7, and 8 or so.
Mm-hmm. Mads Tech.
Like I think they're fixed on the O3 though, right? I
Well,
can't
that's what
remember.
I can't remember. Did they fix the weird ordering on the O3? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So what you need to do is change your channel bandwidth to 20 megahertz. First, change from auto to manual in the transmission menu. Change your channel bandwidth to 20 megahertz. And then just make sure you're unlocked, which I guess you have to be unlocked to go to manual. No. Make sure you're unlocked. So you have all 8 channels. Or 7 channels. And then just pick one of these channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And use this chart to see who you interfere with. So if you're on 7, you're mostly covering race 8. And you should be good to go. There's no reason why you have to be by yourself. The other thing you could do... Yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, as long as you're spacing out from people physically with your goggles, you're essentially the same as like a Vista or a original,
or
goggles.
Yeah. So I would put, if it was my flight line, I'd put you in with the digital guys, just so all the digital guys are together, and then I would manually set channels, and you'd be good to go. It sounds like they just didn't know how to deal with you. Do you see how I'm covering up Madstech here? Oh, hang on. See there. Hey, Ian. Oh shit, I can't do it. Ian, you got something on here? This is my channel chart. Yep, my channel chart now. I don't know Madstech. Thank you, Silverstone. Your videos have helped me countless times, and thank you for what you do. A $20 donation. That's super generous. Thank you so much. Very generous. Oh, man. We are gonna just about to wrap up. If Bucky sponsored you to host an FPV racing event, would you do it in a beaver suit? If that was part of the contract... Maybe. I wouldn't be opposed to it. How do I find out if I got a microscopic solder ball in my motor? Good news! Motors have enamel winding. If a solder ball fell in there, it wouldn't affect the motor at all. It would just be a little piece of grit, and it would probably work itself out. Solder is very soft. I don't think that's an issue at all. I wouldn't even worry about it. What drone do you recommend for 65mm and small for indoors? Mobula 6 2024 edition is a good choice. Quartz says other pilots will not like the DJI Pilot with 1.4 watt power at 50 megabit bandwidth. That's why I told him to turn down to 20 megahertz so that he would not be at 50 megabit bandwidth. That's why I told him to turn down to 20 megahertz. And if they put him in with the other guys, the auto power will do its thing. It won't go up to 1.4 watts, and if it does, it's fine because they're going to be spaced out anyway because they're a digital heat. That's my opinion. Indoor tiny whoop with DJI V1 VTX or O3 possible? The Flywoo Fly Lens is the one I have gone to. The Fly Lens 85 with the O3 when people want an indoor tiny whoop with the O3. The V1 VTX? No, that's not even conceivable. Alrighty. Well, that is going to wrap us up for today. And for a little while, I will be back. You'll know when I'm back. You'll know. Because I'll tell you. Blunty, when are we back?
The 30th of June.
Wow, that's literally a month from now, Blunty.
Yes.
I mean, Michael Bay calls and I answer. What can you do?
Real quick, you didn't mark them off. Did you get those last 2 super chats?
What?
I wasn't sure if you read them.
Wolf, I got Wolf for sure. Yeah, no,
Okay.
oh shit. No,
Okay.
Will McGregor. Will McGregor, thank you for £2. Sub 250 whoop to build or Pico 2.0, which is better? I would think I would just buy a bind and fly. Just find one that works for you. Hand building one, you're not going to build anything different, or like the formula for a Cinewhoop is so freaking established. Like, you're probably not going to build something better than you can buy, and it's just going to be more work. Unless there's something really specific you want in terms of the motors or the VTX or something, just buy a bind and fly, would be my advice. All right, guys, that's going to do it. I'm out of here. Have a great... I mean, I was going to say have a great month. I'll still be posting content. I just won't be streaming. Sorry, guys. See you in a month.